let's move over to the situation that happened yesterday, third quarter with Antonio Brown in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So he's officially been released of his duties as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Um, so apparently the reports are saying that he had an ankle injury and he did not feel that he was good to go. From what I understand, Bruce Arians asked him to go back in, didn't go back in, went back to him again. He said no. He said, get out of here. And I guess literally Antonio Brown said, all right, I'm out of here. And he took off his jersey, took off his equipment, gloves. People were talking to him. I know Tom Brady came over and spoke with him, Mike Evans, OJ Howard. I think some of the coaching staff maybe tried to talk to him, but he was like, I'm good. He didn't want no parts of it. And he vacated the premise, took an Uber, left the stadium, and did whatever he needed to do to get home. So Bruce Arians is, after the game, officially said he's no longer a Buck. He's not talking about him anymore. He's only going to talk about the guys that are still with Tampa. So, all right. Now here comes the insensitive part. And I'm just going to keep it real. And, you can say what you want to say, but listen, when do we stop making excuses for people? When do we hold people accountable? Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I have no expertise in mental health from a formal standpoint, from an official standpoint. But I do know a couple things about mental health because at one point in my life, I did struggle with some mental health issues in regards to my time in the service, seeing some things overseas during combat when I served as a medic, with the Marine Corps. So I understand what it's like to go through certain things in life. And I think we all can agree that we all have our different things that we have to deal with. Okay. But in regards to Antonio Brown, all I see is, oh, we got to keep him in our prayers. And, oh, it's CTE. And then just recently before I started the show tonight, oh, it's a conspiracy because they knew he was hurt and they asked him to play and blah, blah, blah. If a guy tears his MCL and still catches the ball and scores a touchdown. Now, I don't know the extent of his ankle injury, but he looked pretty good to me when he was leaving the field, jogging off and hopping up and getting the crowd going. But again, I don't want to sound I don't want to sound like a jerk, but at some point, when you look at Antonio Brown's track record, dating back to Pittsburgh, the way he left Pittsburgh, the stuff that he said about certain guys and the coaching, the organization, goes to the Raiders. You saw how he asked for his release on social media. He goes down to Florida, has some type of cryotherapy stuff done on his feet, jacks his feet up, so he never participates really in their training camp. I don't even think he's suited up officially, even in a preseason game. Then asked for his release from the Raiders. Then has an altercation with a woman somewhere in Florida again, with battery, allegedly, right? Goes to the Patriots. They let him know, like, listen, man, like you gotta walk the straight and narrow here. Doesn't do that. Plays one game, he's done. Out of football. Tom Brady vouches for this guy. Tom Brady let him stay in his house with his family because Tom Brady knows this guy is an asset. And don't get it twisted. Tom Brady knows this guy is good and he's going to help them win football games. Okay. I don't know their real exact relationship. I'm pretty sure Tom cares about the guy. I mean, you just don't let anyone come stay in your house, obviously. He's a millionaire. He could have been like, hey, man, come down here. I'll try to get you on the team, but you got to stay somewhere else. We let him stay in his house, right? So this is not something new, right? Then obviously what happened yesterday, but all over social media, and I might sound like an ass here, but oh my God, keep him. I mean, look, the guy, help him. Let me bring it back. Have we ever just considered that this guy is just a jerk and he's a douche? That's part of his character. And CTE. I mean, I guess, but there's a lot of NFL players that have had CTE and they're not acting this way, man. Maybe he's just, this is how this guy really is. So I don't want to sound mean, but all this prayers up for him. There's real people out there struggling. And this guy is acting like a buffoon. So I won't condone his actions. I'm not going to say, oh my God, I'm going to pray for him. I'm not going to do that because you know what? He needs to be held accountable first. You have to help yourself before others can help you. And Antonio Brown, like I said, this has been going on for years now, and you have not received help. Okay, so he knows. There's a report out there. James Harrison had him over his house a couple years ago, and James Harrison called him out on it, and he stormed out. So this guy doesn't care, man. So don't waste your thoughts and your prayers on this guy because he doesn't care. He won't need it. And you know the funny thing is that he may even get another chance in the NFL if he cleans up his act, maybe for 15 minutes. Because at the end of the day, this is what society is all built upon. If you can provide or do something that's positive for somebody else, they're willing to overlook a lot of things. You know, the Raiders did it. Obviously, Tampa Bay did it. Bruce Arians knew what this guy was like in Pittsburgh because he coached him there or was part of the coaching staff there. But Tom Brady vouched for him. So I don't want to hear this conspiracy theory stuff about this guy. He's a black man and they're forcing him. Look, dude, you're in the NFL. This dude's playing hurt every week. Now, if it was a different guy that didn't have a track record, then I can maybe say, you know what, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Of course, because we all do that. But this guy definitely has mixed feelings. We got my first comment here from Bryson Carver. He said, I got mixed feelings. I think he's a bad guy, clearly, about the same issue. Something is wrong with him, and he needs help. Just praying that he gets it because this behavior isn't, I feel you, Bryson, but I don't know, man. I respect your opinion, you know what I mean? But I just don't see the outpour for this guy. I really don't care for the guy because he is a bad dude. He is a bad dude. And this is part of it. Now, it's one thing to say, you know what? I pray for him, but you know what? He does have some character issues. Let's just acknowledge that. But some people are not even acknowledging that. They're just they're blaming everybody else around him instead of looking in the man in the mirror. And the man in the mirror is Antonio Brown. It starts with him first, and the people that allow him to get away with this stuff. So, I'm not for that. I know people might think I'm a mean guy. I'm really not a mean guy. I'm a very nice guy. I'm a very caring guy. I'm a very loving person. But stuff like this, I have little tolerance for, because again, you've been given chance after chance after chance after chance, and still people do not hold this guy accountable. And eventually, he might get another gig. Some lowly, desperate team might say, you know what, we can change him, and you can't. So until he gets help for himself, I have nothing to say nice about the guy. So, and like again, the conspiracy theory things that are going out there now, like they're like, oh, he's hurt. They're forcing him to play. They wanted to get rid of him. Yeah, they wanted to, but they couldn't. Why? Because Chris Godwin's down. Mike Evans might get hurt again. They need another wide receiver. It's a business. I understand that portion. So let's be real about that. You think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers really care about him like that? No, he's a piece of meat, just like all these other guys in the National Football League or any professional sports. But you get paid to do a job. And this is what the business is. No one cares about you unless it affects their bottom line. And that's anywhere in life. Now, you might have genuine teams, but it is what it is. So, I mean, like I said, people can think I'm mean. People can think I'm insensitive. I'm just being honest. I'm being truthful. I'm just not here for that because of his track record. Now, if it was like a Larry Fitzgerald, a guy who's a clean slate, a clean record, okay. So be it. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, because what happens? He does get signed to a team again, and he does it all over again. Oh, let's pray for him some more. Then get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. So obviously this got me real fired up because I think society overall right now, we're just a little bit too sensitive, and we're not willing to call people out on their stuff, like real stuff. Right? People want to call out all these other things in life, but stuff like this, they don't. So, hopefully maybe he gets the help. I don't know, man. It's been a while now. It's an ongoing saga, and he doesn't even seem that remorseful anyway. It's one thing if he was remorseful about his situations. I don't know if you guys remember that he recorded when they reported he got released from the Raiders. Like, just watching that video made me cringe at how he was like, I'm free. Grandmama, they freed me. From what? They wanted to pay you millions of dollars to go catch a football, bro. And you couldn't even do that. And I'm not saying the Raiders are not, they're innocent. None of these teams are innocent. It's the other hand, wash the other hand. That's what the situation is, right? And Bruce Arians knew what he was getting into, but Tom Brady, he's like, I gotta listen to Tom Brady. Tom Brady vouching for him. I'm gonna give it a chance. So I don't know, man. That's it for me with that. I just don't think that this outpour for, oh my God, we gotta save him. Nah, man. Like my boy J. Cole said, don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Okay. And that's Antonio Brown, right? So don't save him. He don't want to be saved. I only save the people that want to save themselves first and foremost, unless you have a real problem. So, because let's be real, mental health is a big topic of issue in today's society, but it's thrown out so loosely now. Like I could be like, you know what, man, I just had some coffee today and I just freaked out because they didn't give me extra caramel and it made me feel a certain way. Pray for me. I have mental issues. No, that's not a mental issue. That's just me being a punk and being like, you know what? I just need to accept the fact that they didn't give me extra caramel, period, and move on. But that's where we're at in society. Maybe I'm old school. And I understand mental health is serious. And I'm not denying that. I think it is a very serious topic and it should be treated a certain way. But when you start throwing things out so loosely around the world, it loses its meaning. It devalues it. Because growing up, let's be real. I'm 37, going to be 38 this month, right? Growing up, man, like we weren't about that. If you had a problem, you kept it to yourself for the most part. And if you talked about it, you talked about it close amongst other people, but it was never really considered, oh my God, it's a mental health issue. Sometimes it's not always a mental health issue. Sometimes it's just, you got to suck it up and pull through sometimes. So I think that's where it gets distorted. I think there used to be a line. Now it's all gray. It used to be black and white, but it's super gray. And with this guy, it's not all mental health, man. He has a bad character. He has a character flaw. So that's it. I spent like 20 minutes on this guy. We're going to keep it moving. So let's see. We got a comment here. Oh, we've got a couple comments I got to catch up. Bryson says, his defenders are crazy, but he does have character issues. Like I said, I'm praying for him, but I respect your opinion as well. Yeah. And I respect anyone that does want to pray for the guy. I'm not saying don't pray for him if you don't want. I mean, that's fine. But I'm not going to be leading the chant for that until he wants to come out and publicly say, you know what, guys, I've been messing up. I do need help. Then that's when the healing and the prayers can begin when it comes to me, right? And who cares about me, right? He doesn't even know me from a stick, all right? Barry Grant, he says, bro, it's hilarious. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it for the logo. Got some laughing from Bryson again. And then finally we got, it's way easier to feel bad for somebody like Josh. Exactly. You know what? Because Josh Gordon actually has a real addiction, even if it's just to the ganja. Like, I don't smoke, right? Obviously. And if I know family, friends that do, more power to you. And to them, when you hear people are addicted to weed, to them, they're like, weed? Like, that's like getting a cup of water for me. Some people, man, it's hard for them to put down the weed. It is hard, but it's some type of drug addiction, right? Okay. What is Antonio Brown addicted to? Maybe narcissism, but is that a mental health issue? No, that's a you issue. So a very valid point there, Bryson. Put that comment up right there. He said, it's way easier to feel bad for somebody like a Josh Gordon than AB because at least he's been remorseful and he's battling true demons. Yes, exactly. True demons. So, all right.